Hey everyone! In this video, I'm going to guide you through the process of making your very own brown and white puppy kit. This guy right here. I may call him Yoda throughout this video if I forget, and I apologize in case I do. This is based on my dog in real life, and his name is Yoda. So if you hear me say Yoda throughout the rest of this video, that's why. The other thing I want to mention before we get into it is that your kit may wind up looking a little different than this version that I have on the screen now. As I get these kits made, I don't always have the same fabrics available to me. And so the fabrics that may be in your kit very well could be different from what you're seeing on the screen. However, the process is going to be exactly the same. The first thing I want to tell you is what kind of supplies you're going to need to complete this project. First and foremost, you're going to need an iron. Just a little one like this is fine. However, we will not be using any steam. So make sure that your iron does not have any water in it or just have the steam function turned off. So no steam for this project. You're also going to need a transparent non-stick pressing sheet. This is a sheet of Teflon. That's what I will be using today. There are a number of other styles of pressing sheet available on the market. As long as yours is non-stick and you can see through it, that's what's critical for today. You are also going to need a pair of small fabric scissors. You will need a pen and a pair of tweezers. And then last but not least, you need your kit. This is the one that I will be demonstrating today. You will also need the paperwork that goes with the fabrics. So the fabrics themselves will be in a plastic bag like this, and they have all been pre-laser cut for you. You will just be using your snips to snip the little tabs that are holding each piece in place, but like 98% of the cutting is already done. You will get a couple of sheets of paper with this kit. This one on top is the number match sheet. All of these sheets are labeled up at the top. The number match sheet, the color reference sheet, which is a full color print version of the template for this project. And then last but not least, the black and white version of the template for this project. And you can see brown and white puppy template up there at the top. This black and white one is going to be the reference for today. So the one that you're actually going to iron according to, because it is printed at actual size. So on your ironing surface, you will put this sheet down and then cover it with your non-stick pressing sheet, and you're going to be ironing directly to the non-stick sheet. Now, the way these papers work, I'm going to demonstrate the cross-referencing, how you will find each piece of fabric within the laser cut swatches. And then for the rest of this video, just for the sake of brevity, I'm not going to include that process. I will just show you how each piece gets ironed into this project. You're going to start with number one. All of these pieces have numbers to them. You'll see that on your template. You're going to start with number one and then proceed to number two, number three, number four. That's the order that you're going to follow for this whole project. How it's going to work is you'll say, for example, 70. We need to look for piece number 70. Okay, let's cross-reference to the colored template. Piece 70 is right here, and it is solid white, and it's in the blue progression. So it's going to be in this area right here, not the eye number one. I1 is only going to be for his eyes, as the label implies. We're looking at white number one. So now we know that piece 70 is in white 1. We can switch over to our number match sheet. White 1 is going to be here in the top left corner. And this is the printed layout of how all of the fabrics are cut in the kit. So now we can find our white 1 fabric, which is going to be this piece of white fabric right here. And we want to orient it the same way that the print is shown in the printout. So that's what I've got here. This awkward shape right down here is 109, but we're looking for 70. So I can find 70 here in kind of the top right corner, and that means that this piece right here is 70. So I would snip this piece out. I don't know how well this shows on camera, but there's like a little tab right there that would need snipped. There's one more here. There's another one here, and I think those are and 4 here. So there's a 4th tab. Those 4 little tabs get snipped, then this piece is ready to be ironed down. That's how it works. So you will do that finding process to get each piece. And for the rest of this video, as I said, I'm going to remove that portion. So let's get started with putting this kit together. Piece 1 is the pupil for Yoda's right eye. I'm going to put that in first. I'm rotating it to make sure I've got it oriented correctly. Trying to line it up to the lines that are on the template. There we go. Iron in place. Perfect. 2 is going to be his upper eyelid. Once again, just lining it up on top of the pupil, matching it to the lines on the template. Just get it tacked in place like that. 3 is his lower eyelid. Line that up just like this. Once again, we'll iron it in place. 4 is a little highlight that's down in the corner of his eye, with the larger side pointing down like that. You won't see it on the template. You would see it on the colored template if you referenced there. 5 is his lower eyelid, the highlight going along the bottom edge. Here's where the tweezers are really handy. Can hold things in place. All right, at this point, we're gonna lift up everything that we have done so far because we need to put the iris in, and it goes underneath his eyelid, his upper eyelid and the pupil. So let's set that to the side. We get piece number 6, rotate it till we match. Okay, I'm matching the lines on the template. Let's iron that in place. And then we're gonna put his eye back in place on top. I'll line that up just like that. Perfect. 7 is tiny. It's gonna be just the highlight on the lower edge of his iris, and it goes along the bottom curve just here. 8 is going to be tricky. It's the white of his eye that goes under everything else, and I am going to lift up his eye in a second, but I want to look and see the orientation of this piece by checking against the lines on the template. So it's going to go in just like this, actually. Okay, so let's set that aside. It's just easier for me to see which lines we're actually going to be following because they all look very samey. Okay, we're going to go like that. And now again, his eye goes on top. I'm going to line that up just like that. Iron in place. Last but not least, we've got number 9 that's going to go completely under the eye like that. So once again, lift on up. Let's put this in place. Just like that. Iron this on top like that. Whoop, that wasn't quite right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we just have the highlights in his eye. We've got 10 for the highlight here, and 11 for this little highlight up here, just like that. And that's gonna do it for the first eye. Now we're moving over to eye number 2, starting with piece number 12. This one's gonna go together the same way that one did, so we're gonna start with the pupil. There's that. Piece 13 is gonna be his eyelid, which is gonna go entirely around his whole eye, like that. Get that ironed in place, perfect. 14 is the mid-tone on his lower lid. Get him put together like this. It's 14. And 15 is a small highlight on his lower lid, just like that. Perfect. 16, once again, gonna be his iris. So we're gonna be putting it in there like that. Let's lift up his eye. This in place, just like that. And this can go back on top like that. 17 is another little highlight on the lower edge of his iris, picking up the light from above. There we go. 18 is the whites of his eyes. So once again, I'm just gonna try and see where we're going, about like that actually. Okay, so now we'll lift up the eye, put this in place right there, and then this on top. There we go. Get that ironed in place, okay. 19's gonna be the gray under his eye. It's gonna go just there. A little bit of shadow on the whites of his eyes with a subtle gray. We'll put that in like that. There we go. 20, we've got a highlight. It's gonna be here. And then another tiny little highlight that goes next to it, just in there like that. Very good. Okay. We're done with his eyes. At this point, we'll lift his eyes and set them to the side. We'll come get them when we're ready for them, but they can just go off the top there. Next is piece 22. That's gonna be this big piece of fur. It's a little tricky to see where it goes, but it does perfectly match a number of the lines on the template, as all of these pieces do. So once you find it, this helps. These 3 pieces line up perfectly to the right side. So you get those lined up, and then iron this in place. Get that anchored there. Leave these free for now because we're gonna be putting his nose under there. Now for 23, that's the mid-tone color on this guy's nose. And he has a big nose. Get that ironed in place like that. 24 is the large section of his nose. It's gonna get slid up under this fur. We'll slide this under like that, just like that. There we go. Iron. Okay. 25 is gonna be right down here. There you go. Now he has a nose. 26, we're moving back to the fur. Now this one is going to share some cut edges along the top here, right up here, and a little bit right there. But the rest of it, for the most part, is gonna be free floating. So once you line it up, go ahead, iron it in place, just like that. And my mat shifted. This does happen. So just try and keep an eye on how much shifting is occurring and make sure you're realigning things as necessary. 27 is gonna be this little piece over here. 28 is gonna be right down here, just like that. And 29 is gonna slip in between those 2 right here. There we go, 27, 28, 29. Now, he's got some highlights on his nose fur, so let's do those next. We've got 30 right here, 30, 31, it's gonna be in the middle here, matching some cut edges of the slightly darker blue fabric. Last but not least, we've got 32 over on the side. Kind of fits in just like that. There's 32. 33 is very delicate. Yours very well may break apart. I've barely kept mine together here, but this section right here that I'm pointing at with my tweezers is very, very delicate. If yours winds up in 2 pieces, it's not a big deal because we're gonna fuse it into place anyway. But just so that you're aware, it is a very tiny section of fabric and it very well may separate when you go to cut it out. So this 33 is gonna slide underneath just like this. And I need to figure out where it lines up. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna iron this left side first and then worry about the right side. I'll do that. There we go. So this is, again, gonna tuck under that piece right up there. And we can iron this little bit to his nose, get that attached as well. Get all this tacked in place. I'm not ironing down here yet because we're gonna put some things underneath it right now. In fact, with piece number 34. 34 is gonna go all the way up under Yoda's nose. So let's lift carefully, slide this up. It goes pretty far up there, and then we're matching up all of these lines along the bottom edge up under his nose. There we go. No wrinkles up there because it'll show through. There we go. So all of this light blue should perfectly match to the darker blue that we put underneath. Go ahead, iron together. Excellent. 35 is going to be a little bit of a highlight over here on the left side. We've got a couple of matched edges. Let's get that put into place just like that. All right, 36, 37, and 38 are going to be highlights over here on the right side. So let's start with 36 right here, lining up that right side to the edge of our picture. 37 is going to be down here, and 38 is going to go right in here, just like that. Okay, fantastic. Now we're moving on to some whites. We've got 39 up here at the top, and 40 is going to be next, moving over to here, just like that. Next up is 41, it's going to be up here at the top. Put that in place there. 42, moving over to the left, it's going to be right in here. That's 42. This little guy, 43, is going to be just here. You do have some wiggle room with these. They don't share cut edges with anything, so you're a little flexible on where specifically you line them up. That's 41, and I'm sorry, that was 44. This is 45. Get that put in there. 46 coming down here. Last but not least, we've got 47 down here. Okay, I'm gonna give all of that a real good iron just to make sure it's all connected. Next up is 48. We're starting in on our first brown piece, and that's going to tuck under all of that white fur we just did. Iron it in place, and then we've got 49 down here in place and 50 up here. Very good. Moving on, we have 51. I'm going to slide that under like this. Match up those template lines and get that in place for 51. Very good. Getting all this. I shifted a little bit, just realigning everything. Okay, 52 is next. So 52 is going to go under Yoda's eye. So let's anchor it in place just along here. I'm not ironing this section yet because we're going to be lifting it up. I am going to grab his eyeball and get that ironed in place. It's several layers of fabric now, so I'm going to iron it for a little longer than I have been everything else, just to make sure that the heat penetrates and melts all of that fusible. Let that cool for a moment. We're going to grab 53, is this odd shaped piece. It's going to go like this, with most of this lower edge being tucked under the white fur. Now I'm going to lift up this eye completely and set it aside. We're going to put it back in place in just a moment. And we also need to carefully lift up all of this furry white, feathery white section just like that, so that we can get 53 slid underneath. A little more, and right in there. Okay, looking very good. Excellent. Okay, let's get that ironed in place. Fabulous. Now we can put the eye back, and I can't see the lines. There we go. Okay, I'm matching up the lines of the eye, and that way I know that the lighter piece will be perfectly in place. Okay, let's get all of that really ironed in place very well. Good stuff. Now 54 is going to continue this sprit right up the center of his face. So we'll peel that back, get 54 in here like that. Okay, let's line these up. There we go. Now on to 55 is going to go in here like this. So we need to peel up his eye and this little brown sprit going up his nose. Peel this up. Okay, let's slide this into place like that. Very good. Iron, 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 iron. And there we go. Perfect. And 56 is going to tuck under here. So let's peel this up again. 56. Fold everything back and get that in place. Very good. Okay. 57 is a little mid-tone accent just above his eye, right in there. 58 is going to be a bigger piece over here on the right, and we're going to match up exactly one cut edge right here. Everything else is kind of free floating. There we go. And 59 is a highlight on top of that mid-tone. We're going to put that in place right here. 60 is going to be this little white piece, and it's going to go right in here under the brown. So we'll put that in place, just tuck that underneath like that. Very good. And 61 is going to go underneath again. 61 is going to go underneath like that. So let's peel his eyebrow up once again. 61 right in here. Okay. Get that ironed in place. 62 is this big one, and it's going to go, let's see if I can line it up before I peel everything back. There we go. Yeah, it's going to go like this, actually. Let me tack it into place up here, and then I'll lift up the brown and fit it underneath. Get my tweezers are really helpful for slipping underneath like that. Okay, so that's going to be that. Just iron the brown on top. Get that anchored in place. 63 is this big piece, and it's going to go underneath all of these. So let's just peel up everything we put into place. We will be matching a lot of lines here in just a second. Is everything else in place? No, we've shifted a bit. So let me reposition. Okay, now let's figure out how this fits. Oh, actually, just like that. So I'm matching up the lines on the template around all sides. So we'll tack this in place, and then we can fold everything back. And for sure, we're going to have some matched cut edges. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to start on the left and kind of push everything into the position it needs to be in. Just like this. And continuing to the right. I'm just going a little bit at a time, making sure everything lines up. This one looks pretty good on the far right over here. We'll just do that and get it all connected with the glue. Good. Moving on, we've got 64, and that's gonna fit in right along here. And it matches this top edge right there, and then this edge right down here. So it kind of fits right into that little crack. And we'll get this ironed all the way. Very good. 65 does not have any lines on the template because it goes underneath everything else just like this. So I'm gonna peel up what we've got and then slide it underneath carefully. Okay, let's see. Is that good? Did we get everything? No, I need to rotate it down just a tad. Okay, there we go. Iron. 66 is also gonna be dark, but it's gonna be over here. And it is going to have a couple of visible edges right along the tips. So let's get this part lifted up so we can slip it underneath. And I'm pretty close here. Can't see real well. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Slide that into place. Going back to our white highlights, starting with 67 over here. We'll get that one in place. 68 is this big curve. Put that right down the center like that. 69 is going to go right in here. Get that ironed in place. Very good. 70 goes over here. And once again, just like his muzzle, all of these white pieces are free floating, so they're not going to line up to any other cut edges, so you do have a little bit of wiggle room with their exact placement. We got 71. There's 71, and I'll grab 72, which is going right down here. And that's gonna do it for our white in this section, up to 72. 73 is a tiny little dark brown piece, and it's gonna go right in here under everything else. So let me get my tweezers in there to lift up, make some space, and then I can just slide this in there and get that turned a little more. Almost. Okay, there we go. We're gonna grab this 74 piece because it does overlap in here just a smidge. So let's get this in place. All I'm gonna iron is this piece right here, right there, because that's all I need to connect those two sections together, and then 74 is gonna get lifted up. 75 is gonna go under right along here. So you know what, let's go ahead and lift this up right now because we'll need it in a moment anyway. 75 is gonna fit right in here like that. I'm gonna iron that. Okay, and then let me get 76. That's this piece, and it's gonna go up here. There. Much better. Okay. Let's get that in place. Let's get that in place. Excellent. Now I'm gonna fold this back, make sure we're all good like that. Perfect. And now I can iron all of this in place just like that. Excellent. Now we're gonna lift it right back up because 77 goes underneath. So very carefully lift up. These are really delicate pieces over here, so be very careful when you lift those up. Let's get all of this peeled back up. And where am I? There we go. Okay. I'm just finding the lines on the template where they match up to the edges of this piece. Okay, very good. Push all of that back down. Line up these edges. It's a little sticky. There we go. This is supposed to share a cut edge right along the top there, and this one along the left side. So we'll get those lined up, and a little bit here like that. Okay, very good. Let's get all of that ironed down. 78 is going to fit in right here. A little bit like that. Let me get this, and I'm going to curve that tip a little bit more. It doesn't look like it wants to. There we go. Very good. 79 is going to go right along here and there. 80, like this, up in this part. Get that in place. And then 81, it's this little bit, it's gonna go right in here. There we go. Very good. 82, we're gonna start building out this ear. It's gonna go kind of under like that. So we very carefully, once again, lift up this white section. I'll slide 82 underneath. There we go. Just tack it a little bit. We're going to be lifting it up in a moment, but I wanted it to stay in place while I get it connected to the white fur like that. 83 is going to go underneath the whole ear over here. Whoop. Let's get this peeled up. It's not quite as sticky if you let it dry, or I'm sorry, if you let it cool down. I tend to be impatient and want to lift it before it's totally cooled. and then it doesn't want to come. It's a little sticky. Okay, there we go. Let's get all of this ironed really, really well. Very good. Okay, 84 is this spiky little piece that's going to go up here. Let's get that ironed down. Now we have 85. It's going to go along the left side of that piece there. 86 is going to continue over to the right like that. And then we've got 87 here. Get that put in place as well. All right, that finishes off his ear. We're going to come down and do the other side of his face, starting with 88, which is going to go right down here, tucked under the white, and we'll get that in place there. We'll iron just the top because, again, we're going to be lifting it up in a moment. 89 is going to go under the left side here and under part of his muzzle fur. Let's get this lined up. Lots of lines to match up with this one. Okay, so let's get this in place. Oh, that peeled up. There we go. This one's a little tricky. I'll do this next, and then make sure that we're not touching anything with 88, like that. Very good. Now we'll put the eye in place and get that lined up. Once again, I'm gonna iron this really well because it's like 4 layers of fabric, and I want to make sure that the heat of my iron penetrates all the way through. So we'll do that, and I am going to let it cool down for just a moment before we peel that whole section up. Okay, let's get under there. We're going to peel all of this up because piece 90 goes under everything. So let's just get all of this peeled up. Very good. 90 is going to go here. And I'm lining up its cut edges right along the template down here at the bottom. And then I'll just hold it in place while we fold this back. And we can kind of eyeball how all of this goes in place. As long as it's flat, it's okay if it's not exactly perfect. That's good enough for me. So I'm gonna iron in place. And again, we're going through a number of layers of fabric now in certain places. So I'm gonna make sure that I iron very, very well. Let the heat really get through. Okay, we've got 91, that's a little highlight above his eye. Get that in place up here. 92 is gonna be down here, so we'll do that. 92, 93 is coming up here just a bit. And then we have 94, moving over a little further. It's 94. 95 is tiny. Make sure I've got the fusible side down. So 95 is going to go right down here. And then last for this area is 96. And that's going to go right here. There we go. 96. Now we have 97, which is this little light brown piece, and it's going to tuck in right here. So we've got just a little bit of space. There we go. So it tucks right underneath there. Get that ironed. Very good. 98 is another big piece, and it's only going to overlap right along here for now. So I'm not going to iron this. I do want to just get it connected to the white, however. Get that repositioned. Okay, so let's get all of this lifted up. There we go. Now we can slide this in place and match up our lines like that. Very good. Okay. Now just, like I said, just going to iron where it goes over under the white. And connect that because we're going to be lifting it up for piece 99. It's going to go under all of this stuff. So we're going to lift a good bit of Yoda now. So very carefully peel them on up. All of this. That should do it. Just heat that folded back for a moment while I get this lined up. And there we go. Let's get this put back in place. Okay. And then let's see, 98, which is this piece we just put down, only sticks out right along here, this little fringe up at the top. Everything else does not share a cut edge. So as long as it feels flat and not buckly, you can go ahead and iron it in place. Very good. We've got piece 100 for, let's see, piece 100 is going to go right along this outer edge. Very good. And then 101 goes just under it like this. Okay. Good. Oh, that was 101. Okay, so we're moving on to 102, which is here. And it's going to go up here like this. 102, 103, right down here. 104, kind of up here. 105 is going to go down here. Get that in place. Very good. 106 going to be over here. And the tall piece kind of slides up within the little darker brown underneath it. And then we've got 107, which is very small and just going to tuck in right there. 7, and then we've got 108, which is going to go right over here. There we go. Finished up Yoda's other ear. Very good. 109 is going to be this white piece that goes along the top of his head. It's actually the back side of his neck in real life. So we'll get 109 under like that. Okay. Very good. 110 is, again, going to go right under everything else. So we'll slide that under there and get that organized like that. Very good. Now we've got 111. It's going to go over here under these little pieces. Let's tuck that in. There we go. This little guy's fiddly. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, that's 111. That in place. 112 is going to be a little further down, right over here. There we go. 113 is going to be right under here. So again, let's peel up everything we got going on this side. Oh, so we can fit 113 over here, just like that. Fold it all back down. Okay, get it ironed in place. Okay, now we've got 114 that's going to go under all of that stuff. So peel it back up. This is a recurring theme with my designs. Get this in place like that. There we go. And that's going to do it for the whites in this project. All we've got left is brown. Now we have 115. It's going to go underneath this little edge of his mustache. I'm just going to tack it into place. It only overlaps a tiny little bit, and we're once again going to be putting something underneath it. Next is 116. We're going to slide it underneath. Carefully lift all of this up and iron. There we go. Very good. Now for this big piece. 117. It's going to go under the entire lower left corner. This is Yoda's shoulder. So we're going to peel him all the way up. Line this up to the lower left corner. Oh, get Yoda back in place. Let me tack this in place just so I know it's not going anywhere. Okay, now we're a little sticky. I did not wait long enough to let everything cool down. That's okay. We're dealing with it. There we go. So we can get all of this ironed in place now. And again, we're going through a few layers of fabric, so I'm going to do a really good job. Make sure everything is well connected. Now we've got 118. It goes in the lower right, or the lower left corner as well, like this. Sneak it in there. Very good. 119 is going to go along the very bottom. And we're going to shift it to the left until it's not overlapping this piece right here. So we'll just do that. 120 is going to go over here closer to the right, just like that. 121 is going to go right over here along the left edge. Once again, not overlapping with the other piece of the same color. Let's get that in place. 122 is going to go up here. Let's just put that right there. There we go. Get all of this ironed down real well. 123 is going to go right here in between those two other pieces. Get that anchored down. Very good. 124 is going to go right here. 125 will go right next to it, just along the edge. Get that ironed down. Very good. 126 is coming down here. We'll put that in place. 127 is going to go just in here. Very good. 128 is going to kind of line up with the corner and then stick up diagonally to the right. 129 goes adjacent to it, just a little bit above. 130 goes right in here. There we go. No touching edges, so I was sliding it around to get it in place. 131 goes right along here. You have a lot of freedom with the placement of these, so kind of wherever they fit that you want them to go will work. 132 is going to slide right in here. 133 goes right down here. 134 going to go right down in the lower left corner like that. 135 going to go along the bottom left edge. All right. 136 is going to go in this gap up here. And that is going to finish off our Yoda. Okay, 2 more pieces to put down. That's the background, but our dog is done. So this is the easy part now. 137 is going to go underneath Yoda in the lower right corner, just like that. And then 138 will go under it like this. So let's lift him up and get the background in place. There's the first one. Very good. Let's iron that in place. And again, we're going through many layers of fabric, so I'm going to do a really good job of the ironing. I did shift it a bit, line it up. Okay, now let's peel out Yoda's top of his head. Get our other background piece in place. I'm gonna get this corner just tacked in place. Okay, and now it's time to iron him down and he will be finished. There we go. And there he is. There's our little puppy. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed this project and I will see you next time.